Hello and welcome back. This is the Maiden for the FlexRC Frog. It is a brushless micro, 122 millimeters. Hopefully you saw there in the little takeoff just how windy it was, and that was one of the big reasons why I wanted to build a brushless micro. Oftentimes I find the wind here is too dramatic for my brushed micros. So I'm just going to take it for a stroll around the neighborhood. I've actually never flown FPV out in the front of the house. I've done most of my FPV in the backyard. I'm just kind of getting adjusted to the camera and to the quad itself, kind of feeling out the controls. This is the maiden flight. I did pump up my rates to what I'm used to, and I also changed the default PIDs up quite a bit, just because I'm using multi-wii, and the defaults on those are oftentimes quite low. As you can see, the picture is pretty clear. I'm using the Diatone 120-degree camera. This looks an awful lot like the $9 Banggood camera, but you can tell that the field of view is a lot less than you find from that 170-degree camera. All of my neighbors are aware of my quadcopter flying and have given me permission to fly in their front yards, but I do take quite a bit of precaution. I make sure there are no kids out playing. With this brushless, I don't want to cause any harm to anyone. I'm excited to try it in the backyard, but the construction in the backyard has created some pits that water has collected in, so I don't want to take my little brushless and crash it right down into one of those water pits. But so far I'm pretty pleased. It's pretty responsive. The sticks are a little soft, but not bad. I do a few punch outs, and I really never get to full throttle. I'm estimating that I get to about 85% throttle. You'll see a few punch outs coming up here. And I'm going kind of slow, just kind of working my way around the neighborhood, getting used to things. The sun's pretty high, so that's nice. I go for a few more flights this afternoon, and the sun gets a little bit lower. And flying at this basketball goal, it gets a little sporty because the sun is right in the lens, and it gets a little bit difficult. So you have to kind of make a maneuver in order to get the sun out of the lens because it doesn't handle light great. Unlike the HS 1177, handles light a lot better, but that's a board camera and a CCD camera. This is a CMOS camera. I am flying in rate mode, so there's no gyro doing any leveling out for me here. I've gotten fairly comfortable doing that, although I did take off in, I think it was horizon mode, and then once I got up off the ground, I turned that off into rate mode. I just have the two modes set up. The acceleration is pretty good. When I deaccelerate and I come down out of one of those punch outs, there's a little bit of wobble, so I'll have to work on that tuning. One of the things that I really like about the brushless is, well, it's heavier, and with the weight, it comes down as expected. It doesn't float through the air so much like the brushed micros do. I can highly recommend one of these builds for anyone. I used various parts, and I'll leave a parts list down below. You do not have to buy specific parts to make this work. And you can gain altitude, so it's got plenty of power, and this is exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for something that I could fly in small spaces still, and I could enjoy just around the house so I could get more flying time in, and something that I can run and run and run, and I won't be buying so many motors. That's one of the things I struggled with, was it seemed like I would just get a micro built and I would get it flying real well, and then next thing you know, I've got to buy a new set of motors. And while I was buying the $15 set from Multirotor Superstore, you can tell that they start wearing almost immediately. You might get 50 flights out of a set. If you have many crashes, you're going to be going through those sets a little bit faster. I only broke one bearing on the brushed motors, but so far that's been the only crash that I've seen motor damage. Everything else has just been the motors wearing out. I've been through about 7 or 8 sets of brushed motors, the 80/20 17s. The props on this are from RCX. They are pretty rigid, and they are also pretty tough. You'll see at the end of this flight, I kind of have a rough landing, and it flops right over, no damage there. But in subsequent flights, I actually lost my FPV and had a pretty hard crash on the pavement. And while I didn't necessarily break a prop, I broke a hub on the prop. I've got a host of different batteries that I bought, everything from Lumineer to Florian, and I couldn't tell you which one this is. Oh, we're coming in for that hard landing I talked about. This is going to get ugly. So if you're new here, why not hit that subscribe button? If you are a subscriber, well, go ahead and hit that like button if you like the video. If you have any questions or comments, leave those in the section down below. Thanks for watching.